Well, again, folks, we want to welcome you to another edition of my Lutheran Connections, the MLC Talk. Um, Today, we want to start off like this. We want to welcome our ambassador all the way there from Freetown, Sierra Leone. And again, we want to welcome back um, our boss from Monrovia, the Batam Ibelewili. And we are very much hopeful that our sister, the lone lady, Couple Silly, will be joining us, and as well as our brother Josiah Jokai from Dansbury, Connecticut. And we are also hopeful that our Reverend will join us from the studios there in Columbus, Ohio. Um, Today, it's going to be a very interesting conversation. Unfortunately, we want to inform you that all efforts to reach out um, to our guest for today, who happens to be our bishop. He appears every last Sunday on the bishop's hour. We are unable to get him. So we assume it's due to some network connectivity in Liberia. But we are hoping that during the conversation, maybe we can still get the bishop on. But listen, today is going to be a very, very interesting one. We're going to have a roundtable conversation. We're going to talk about Aliyah. We're going to talk about the LCL. We're going to talk about just everything in general. I mean, this is the My Lutheran Connections, the MLC talk. So, Ambassador, how are you doing there in Freetown, Sierra Leone?
Well, Willie, I want to say thank you, and I also want to express my appreciation to our brother Batan Ebelewari. We are doing great here. We're just being very busy a bit. You know that Sierra Leone just had the elections yesterday, the 24th of June, 2023. And
Wow.
I have been in the thick and things of the
Mm-hmm.
entire thing. The whole process,
Yes.
hover around my desk. And so we'll be entertaining a lot of different conferences and debates around the holding of the election and ensuring that the election is, peaceful and stable, and the environment and atmosphere remains so. And so we have been engaged for the past few weeks, but I'm very happy that we can, still make ourselves available for today's talk. So thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. But Lewis, how are you doing? How are you doing there in Monrovia?
Oh, well, I'm
It,
doing good here. I'm really doing good, except that my life is really a kind of busy life. I don't want to uncomparable. I don't want to compare it with any other person's own journey, but my journey is busy. I'm telling you,
I know.
um, I've been more and more continue to I love, but I love it. You know, if you are passionate about things that you do,
Yeah.
you don't complain, and that's the kind of person I am. I will not complain because I'm more passionate about what I'm doing, because I know the goal and the objectives for which I want to achieve. So yeah, my personal job at my organizations, and then my school, and the new portfolio that has been added to me as chairperson of the board of the Lutheran Training Institute. It challenges me to kind of move forward and see going outside the box, thinking more adequately, and see what value we are able to bring to the table. So all of those all of those things have really made my life busy. But as I said earlier, I love it. I love it, and that's the reasons why I'm into it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, brother Will. Um, Again, we have been joined by our dear brother Josiah Jokai. Big Joe, how are you doing? How is Danbury today?
I'm okay. I'm okay. January is good. We in the summer now, so that's my season. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I can get a lot achieved during the summer. Yeah, we here. We good. Family is doing well. We just being intense. As I indicated to the team,
Yep. Yep.
I just got a new role, a new job, and transitioning have been very intense. A lot
Yeah.
of paperwork to do. Interestingly, I was being, given two offers. One from my previous job. My manager actually wanted me to be promoted to his role as manager of the department. At the same time, I got an offer for the executive programs manager position for the Connecticut Charter School Collective, meaning that I'm going to have a supervision role for 4 of the education districts in Connecticut: Bridgeport, New Haven, Norwich, and Danbury, my own city. So that's a greater and enhanced role that I'm going to be having. I'm grateful for that. Thankful to God for the opportunity to serve. But this is the call, we all are ready to respond to. So I'm really happy. We've been having a lot doing back and forth, trying to finish my training and transfer responsibilities for my previous job. To leave the job, you have to leave it professionally. Yeah, and I was able to do that successfully. So right now, my last week was my first week on a new job, and it seems to be impressive, encouraging. So yeah, I just thought to share with you and our audience the
absolutely. And we are so much
right.
Right. We are so much grateful. Anything once it is Lutheran, once Lutheran is involved, once Lutheran is attached, we are so much proud that even our ambassador there in Freetown, Sierra Leone, he was just telling us that he just participated in the the electoral process in Sierra Leone, and you don't want to talk about Batam Ebele, the most busy man on the planet Earth right now. But Big Joe, while you still have the microphone, do you want to get the breaking news from development from MLC Talk in our connection, how far and why we are moving?
I should share, but before I can share, let me just pay homage to the ambassador in Freetown. I've been down that road before. I know exactly what has been happening with respect to the elections in Sierra Leone. I know exactly what's going on. Sierra Leone can be harsher, can be tougher. I was there in 2012, and interestingly, the current president, I did post-election engagement, and I sat with him. I was one of those who ignored the diplomacy when it was tough. At that time, SLPP had about 5,000 Sierra Leoneans get out of the office. They were ready to go on a rampage in the street. I remember when the European Union released a preliminary report and indicated that they thought there was, fraud and irregularities associated with the election. Sierra Leoneans were ready to go on a rampage. I know we went in a meeting with Madabio, with Ernest Bai Koroma, the former president, and other political leaders and stakeholders. My call in that meeting was very undiplomatic. Amos Sawyer, Yvette Chessin, Dr. Fatah Musa, they all were very diplomatic in the meeting. But I just hit the nail on the head and told Madabio that you want to govern the people of Sierra Leone. You have to make sure their lives are protected, because any further bloodshed, we are coming for you. My message was very consistent to him in 2012. You want to govern, even if you don't win the election, you still want an opportunity to run and win, which happened to him. The following election, he ran, he won. And, he had an opportunity to govern. So I trust the ambassador. He is a seasoned ambassador now, well experienced, well situated. I know they play their role appropriately. With somebody like Jerry involved with the elections. I'm not saying it because he's on this platform. I'm saying it because I know the scope and nature of work that he does. I was in there before in the MRU basin, and I know what it entails politically and security wise in that sub-region. It's an intense job. It's a tough job. Negotiations, post-election engagement. It's a tough situation. People want you to consider their side of the story, and these are not ordinary people. These are stakeholders. These are people that hold the power. I engaged with them for 3 weeks in Guinea. I did post-election engagement in Guinea. I know what it meant. I literally threatened the officials of government and told them that we were coming after them and help to solve the situation in the country. But again, Jerry, thank you so much. I'm happy that I see you here. I didn't even think that I was going to see you on. I know what can happen during those post-election engagements. Abel Yawale, I almost like sitting on the same bench. I'm starting another term. Abel, I know where you And I'm getting close. I'm getting close to my dissertation. I'm doing my prospectus right now. So I know exactly what you're going through, Ibe. At the same time, you got to get all the volunteers coming from across the globe to you to manage them, manage your work, and you got a new role with the LCL. Come on, that's beyond intense. That's beyond intense, you know.
I'm dying, Joe.
Yeah, and congratulations to Willie for holding on, you know, and pulling the strings, making sure that we are all connected in a sustainable way. This show has to go on. This is our commitment, our dedication. It has to happen. So let me just break the news, Willie, what you asked me for specifically.
Sure.
We've spoken with the manager, Mr. Kokwe Miller of Zolaye Communications Network in Lofa. Is situated in Zozo. As a matter of fact, my father was instrumental in establishing Radio Zolaye. He was the first board member. He helped to mobilize resources for the establishment of the radio station. So that's one of his legacies, and I'm always tied to them, no matter what. So I spoke with the station manager, and he has agreed to relay, for his station to relay our Sunday discussion, the popular MLC talk, every Sunday on their radio station. We spoke. It was a long phone conversation. He agreed in principle, and he asked to send a formal email so that he can discuss the proposal with his colleagues at the station, with the management. But as manager, he thought that it was a very good decision, and that we would be able to fill in, the void with a Christian program in that whole region, because their radio station covers Lofa, it covers parts of Guinea, it covers significant parts of Bonk and Nimba counties as well. Yes, as well. So MLC Talk is going to be across those areas that I've just mentioned to you. So they are going to be getting back. I think he's responded to acknowledge receipt of the email. I have all of you copy on the email. So we will be discussing the details, and I told him our expectation is to start next Sunday. That's how fast I want us to move next Sunday for them to start the relay. So what he said to me was, if we can conclude all the discussions this week during the course of the week, then next Sunday they are ready to start. They're not looking for relay equipment. They're not looking for anything. They are said they are ready to go. So it's up to us. So this is a big news, meaning MLC Talk is going to be across Lofa County, is going to be across Bong, Nimba, and, a significant portion of the forest region of Guinea. Yeah, so I just thought to share that with the team.
Yes, absolutely, Bijo. Thank you so much. And that's where our church started from. The church started from the interior down to the city. So it's no mistake that MLC Talk will be hitting those places, talking about Bong, talking about Nimba, talking about parts of Guinea, and not to mention Lofa. So thank you so much. We want to thank God for that opportunity. So Ambassador is going to take over from here, because I'm going to be in the hot seat for a few minutes. Then
But thank you, Willie. But I also want to say thank you to Big Joe. I now see Willie why you call him Big Joe. Because Big Joe thinks big, and Big Joe always bring big things. And actually, when I saw the email, I was kind of astonished. I said, but you see, Big Joe, he like all kinds of surprises. Why would he start doing this kind of negotiation and reach at this logical conclusion before he breaks the news? But Big Joe is very important, and serving as the moderator today, I think I'm also going to put you in the not the hot seat but the comfortable seat, so that you can be able, because come to think about it, this show is not only about giving edutainment, but it's also about ensuring that we keep the Lutheran Church, in the mind of the people, and this is a great strive. So I just wanted to find out from you, Big Joe. I know we discussed the issue behind the scene, most of the details behind the scene, but I just wanted to find out from you, the Sunday that we're about to start, what is it going to entail in terms of cost? How is it, because maybe somebody listening will want to say, okay, then I can try to see I can help. So would you like to share light on that?
Yeah, that's an important piece of the path, Jerry, Ambassador, and I'm glad you raised it. That's why he said we should discuss the details during the course of this week. Once we are able to reach a conclusion, to have a clear understanding in terms of our role, meeting their expectations, as a station, then we can go ahead to start relaying. But I'm not sure the fact that it's a Christian organization and his reaction was very impressive, was very encouraging. He said, "Oh, so it's a Christian program," because he asked, "What exactly you guys discuss?" I said, "We discuss all things Lutherans," and that's why I underscored that in our email. He said, "Oh, but then it's a Christian program. It's not political." I mean, I'm quoting him verbatim. He said, "It's a Christian program. Yes, we should be able to carry. In fact, Sunday is a very good time for us. We can find a time. We all can talk through that during the course of the week to identify the time frame, and then to be able to see if you guys can meet our expectation." And I said to him, jokingly, I said, "I'm not sure that you have huge expectations." And then he said, "Oh, no, no, no. We shouldn't have a huge expectation for something like that."
Exactly.
Yeah, he said that. He said if this was a political discussion or stuff, then that's a different story. Mr. Joker wouldn't be talking about not having huge expectation, because you can use our platform, for those kinds of political or national discussions, and then you don't expect to pay for the time frame, the airtime, and everything. Yeah. So
Anyway,
to answer
okay,
your
go ahead.
question, let's talk through that. Everybody will be part of that. I decided to leave that aspect out for all of us to share.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
secure the opportunity, and then we all can make a decision in terms of what is going to cost us, how we can meet their expectations. Right.
Oh, Joe, thank you so much. And I want to say again that you are a blessing, and we'll pray that we will not falter. Let us just keep the discussion going, so we hear what it is, and then we know what to do. And we want to say thank you. And I also want to say thank you and congratulations on behalf of the crew, for your preferment. And we know for the way that we don't want to state your capability, your competence, but we are very certain that you're going to make that new office a very beautiful place. You as an educator, that's been your passion, so it's going to even make it better. Also, Weddy,
Yep.
we are going to look at Aliyah. Come on, man, tell us. So, Aliyah is contemplating having a conference. Can you give us a rundown? When will be the conference, and what is the theme of the conference, and what is the objective of the conference?
All right. So thank you very much. By the way, the week of July 9th to the 14th, we'll be consecrating the office, Big Joe's new office. So okay. Aliyah, um, this is her 12th annual assembly. It's going to be taking place in the city of Minneapolis, at the Christ the River of Life Lutheran Church. That's where it's going to be taking place. And at this convention, we are going to have elections. Elections will be held during this time. The officials, the current officials of Aliyah have been there for a while now. So at this time, and one of the things that really had us behind was the revision of our constitution. We had to revise the constitution. So since that has been done and passed and everything, so at this convention in Minneapolis, we are going to have elections, and maybe there will be some other questions to come, but maybe I can, stop at that, saying that this is a regular, our annual assembly, and we go from state to state.
Oh, okay. So that's very good. Yes, I would like to say thank you to Aliyah, and I think this is the beginning of a very good start of the long years Aliyah have been existing. But can you also tell us this conference that you guys are about to have? You say it's going to be a conference just to look at the Constitution. Are you guys also going to look at the change of leadership? Did you say that?
Yes, yeah. We're gonna have a change of leadership. Like I said, one thing that held us back was the fact that our constitution had needed some, revision. So we
You
had to
know, let
revise
me
the
give a
constitution.
disclaimer. Let me give a disclaimer, Ambassador, on your behalf and on Willis' behalf. Uh, Change of leadership will mean even the people who are in power right now could still be re-elected. So that's what we mean.
Yeah.
We're not insisting that definitely it's
Yeah.
going to be a change of leadership in terms of bringing new people automatically. No, but election will take place, and if those who are in power they are interested to contest again to succeed themselves, they win. That's still new leadership. I wanted to say that, Jerry, before people start asking us. Also, y'all know that y'all get people already.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
people
exactly, Bijo, and thank you for coming in with that. I mean, there's going to be reshuffle. So let's say, for example, perhaps if Joe Roberts, who is the current treasurer, I mean, decides to run for secretary position or the presidency, I mean, he could win, and it'll be a reshuffle. So, but we're going to have election. Actually, there'll be election this time around.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. So, thank you again, Joe, for the disclaimer. So, at certain point in time, you will have, the continuation of one person, for example, the chair or the co-chair, and then at the final analysis, yes, we'll say that the person trying to succeed themselves and going for the second term. But in terms of the constitution, what has been the sticky issue, and what is it that you guys are reviewing?
All right.
The
So,
entire document.
yes, the entire document was reviewed. We took over 3 months. The Constitution Committee, the Constitution Revision Committee, was headed by the Reverend Dr. Allison, Eric M. Allison, co-chaired by Deacon Ketter, and members included uh, um, Reverend Amadou Salif. He was a member. Sis Kavia Walker, also a member, and myself serving as secretary on that committee. And our ex-official on that committee was the Dr. Tutu. Dr. George Tutu served as ex-official to that committee. So we went from the top, from the first page to the last page of the Constitution, the then Constitution, the 2011 Constitution. We review every word in the Constitution. So the Constitution right now that have been passed has some modification in there, and we met in a virtual assembly because the assembly from Philadelphia assembly
So that
passed
means
that.
the constitution have been passed, or the
Yes,
constitution should be validated. So what is it? Tell us,
the, the,
because
the, the revised constitution has been accepted, has been passed and accepted in a virtual convention because the convention in Philadelphia agreed to move this aspect, or to continue the convention in a virtual environment in order just for this aspect of the constitution to pass it.
okay, so the constitution has been accepted, and
Yes,
so
has been accepted. Yeah.
the convention is not going to concentrate or focus on endorsing or validating the constitution, but they're now talking about change of leadership. All right,
Yes.
that's good. We'll come back to you. But Abel, the one of the most busiest Lutheran on the planet. We come on, Abel. Abel, we want to come to you. We want to come to you, Abel, and again, we want to say congratulations for your preferment. But Abel, tell me, man, since you took over, has been the job? Has it been so sweet? Uh,
Jerry, Jerry, to be frank with you, there's nothing sweet about this. It is a very, it's very tough. It's a very tough work. It requires a lot of innovations and creativity. Few days ago, I was at St. Peter's Lutheran Church, and I visited my colleague, my brother and friend, Dorothy Kokuya, who is now the chairperson of St. Peter's. And then I went at the back of the building, man. I saw this tremendous work that is going on at the back of that building. The brother put me down and gave me the entire rundown of what St. Peter's plan to do in the next 5 to 10 years. It's marvelous, unbelievable. Things that have never been happening in the SUS before. So the both of us was sharing the story. Like, is this what we advocated for in the past? The Lutheran Church, the new Lutheran Church in Liberia, is this what we advocated for? He said, that is what we advocated for when we were in the youth department. We wanted to see a vibrant church. Not that a church wasn't assisting, not that there were no vibrators in the process, but now that we got the gavels in our hands, we need to run with it, Abel. I congratulated him. He is team. So when I was appointed,
I don't want to lose my thought. Is that the multi-purpose building behind the church?
You got broken, Joe?
Is that a multi-purpose building behind the church, the St. Peter's Lutheran Church?
Yeah, it's a new multi-purpose building. I don't want to speak for St. Peter's. I want to laying a scenario of where we are as a church.
Yeah, you remember I'm purposefully asking the question because sometime at some point in time when I stood in the church and said that the building was a white elephant and we had almost 14-man delegation that went to complain to Bishop that I insulted the church. I'm glad that it's no longer going to be a white elephant. That's why I'm asking.
No. That entire structure was broken. It has been broken down, Joe.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it has been broken down. That was okay. That was then, but it is now. The now is that what I'm trying to portray is that we are seeing a generational innovations and process coming into place. That's what I want to give. That having a brother and friend, Jerry, from the youth department, Joe, Willie, and having this kind of a dream that is ongoing. It's a non-stop project. A non-stop project from the ground to finishing. It's clear about it. So that's bringing me back. When I was appointed as a chairperson of the Board of Education of the Lutheran Training Institute, we know the history of LTI. Before the war, we know what the Lutheran Training Institute stood for in the sub-region. I don't want to mention Liberia alone. Joe, you are the living witness. You attended Lutheran Training Institute, you know what I'm talking about. We know the quality of services that the Institute provided to the sub-region, and then Liberia in particular. But these institutions have been broken since the Civil War. It has struggled long since for restorations, despite of all of the support we got from panels, from one event to the next. So now I'm saying to myself, okay, if the bishop can entrust us to serve on the board, that means he has seen something in us that he wants us to deliver. Because it's not just about talking. We talk for too long. It's not just about talking. Now he's giving us a gavel as authority and say, look, all the talk you guys been talking, it's not about time for you guys to put all of those talks and those talents into place and to make things so happen. The challenges are enormous, brother. Everyone listening to me tonight, if you went to LTR today, tears with lives in bush, complete bush, forest, I will call it. So the Reverend Iredo, who is the director of school system, Bishop Pamo did his heart baked. He wants to ensure that this institution, the cradle of Lutheran education.
Abel, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I want us to put this thing in context, so that at least our colleagues and are listening can be able to follow the flow. The first thing, I just wanted to have a summary of, or your own tax. That's the reason why I asked. But maybe rephrase the question to say, specifically, since you've been appointed as the chair of the board, what has been your TOR given to you, your marching order? And what has been your your first 6 months, 3 to 6 months, or a short to medium term plan that you have put in place? Can you just give a summary of that?
Well, I have a Lawson TOR. The Lawson TOR is that to work with all of the stakeholders of Lutheran Institute to restore the institution back to its pre-war status. That's Lawson. If we check into that Lawson, I would need MLEX segments of TR. I don't want to dwell into that. But the Lawson is that your responsibility is to work with the wider community, the stakeholders across to restore ATR back to a pre-war status and even beyond, or let's say a status that should meet contemporary reality. Because usually when we talk about pre-war status, we are saying, okay, where ATR was in 1989. No, it's not that we're talking. We're talking about contemporary reality. What are those realities? Those realities are visible. You are talking about vocational education. You are talking about technical vocational education. You are talking about junior. Just to get to the point, since we took over just about a month ago, that is what we've been able to do. In close consultation with the bishop who has given us the platform. You know, I love the bishop leadership style. And I was telling somebody that he's a dedicated leader. He's an empowered leader who instructs his team members with autonomy and decision-making authority, allowing them to take ownership of their own assigned responsibilities and tasks. That's the kind of bishop we have right now. So he see you, Jared, and he gave you responsibilities, and that's exactly what he did to us. So the first thing we proposed to him in consultation was, we cannot do anything on this campus in the absence of developing a strategic document that will lead us in the process for the next 5 years. He said, Abel, ahead. And I'll tell you one thing. The day we started the strategic process, the bishop was on ground. He was sitting there with us. In fact, he was the first person that arrived in that forest, the Lutheran Trinity Institute. He arrived there and he said, I will sleep at the what? At the only building that will be available for me here. And that's exactly what he did. And we went through that process and we were able to produce a strategic document that is currently in draft. And the stakeholders are looking at that to see how we'll be able to validate that. But just to quickly run you through, there are a couple of things that came out of the strategic document. We were able to identify 5 thematic areas that the Lutheran Trinity Institute can embark on right now moving forward. The first area was the operations of the non-boarding academic program. And that program going to... So we are now operating boarding school right now, but the first 1 year would be to engage the local communities and see how we can bring momentum back to the Lutheran Trinity Institute. We are thinking about dropping down the high school from 12, 11, and 12 to only junior high. That would be like 7, 8, and 9. The reasons for this is that we want quality. We want to produce students that will go to the high school and eventually sit for the WACs and demonstrate that competence of 99% average pass within the WACs, right? So we want to start training. With these 3 classes, we're going to start that. If we have session 1, session 2, session 3, for each class, we're going to do that. So that is the first plan. And the idea behind this non-boarding academic program is to build a momentum, the repetitions of Lutheran Trinity Institute back, and to encourage people to send their children. And then quickly, we also have the second thematic area that is a vibrant boarding academic and TVET programs. This program will start somewhere, hopefully, around 2005, 2006 school year. This is where we are going to reinvent the boarding school, where students will live on the campus residentials, and we will have 2 programs. One is in the TVET that will provide a technical vocational program, and then another one is in academic. But students of the
Okay,
academic
Ebe,
paper will
Ebe, I will, I will, Ebe, I will hold you there. Maybe I will hold you there because I think the two thematic issue you raised, we need some more specifics and information around that, and I will come back to you in a jiffy because I think you got some good plans bubbling out of your head already, as you mentioning, and there is a need for us to allow you to give more information around that vis-a-vis trying to weave in some of the reports that Reverend Pay, when we hosted him on the show the last time, was talking about, and his stewardship at the level of even the LTR. All of these things, you're going to put it in context for us. We'll get back to you, and we want you to hold tight. But we want to shift now to Joe. Joe, you gave a very, very good news. I mean, you brought to life, the MLC talk. And now at least we're going to hit the ground running because we all know how it's been difficult to get most of our people listening to us, especially with the economic situation now in the sub-region, and a lot of people don't have the means to get on the internet, and so we are very happy to hear that we will be on the local radio. But can you tell us what is going to be the impact so much? I mean, we're just talking about LOFA, and what are we thinking? Are we hoping to expand to other parts of the country?
Absolutely, Jerry. This is a very good question, and it's good. It's important because our primary objective as a network, MLC, we we want to educate, inform, and entertain our viewers, and this has to go across the LCL, both international and local. And so looking for opportunities to expand our coverage is one of the best actions, one of the best ways in which we can better educate our people, Lutherans, non-Lutherans, across the country in the diaspora about happenings within the church. Access to information is one of those hurdles that our people face. Just in the country alone, many of the people, Lutherans live in Liberia, but are not aware of the activities of the national leadership of the church. They are not aware of the purposes of the different programs in the church. They are not aware of, opportunities that they have to access the different programs in the church. They don't even have any measure of information in that respect. So imagine through the power of radio, if the people can come from their farms, and our timing is so good, it's so prime. If people come from their farms by 8 p.m., they got their little radios, they'll be able to sit while, with their families. They all can monitor our discussion. They all can be informed from our discussion. They all are able to better engage with their leaders, their pastors, their evangelists. They all are able to start asking questions, in fact, to get more information, more details. So just covering Lofa alone, covering a significant part of Bon, Nimba as well, and parts of Guinea where we have ministries, where we have preaching points, where we have parishes. It means a lot to making a difference, in the understanding of the people about the works of the leadership of the church, about what's going across the church, even in the parishes, because we are working on the parish program where we'll be bringing sermons of pastors, where we'll be bringing programs in the church so that we can inform the people. So if we have such leverage, I think we better utilize it to educate our people, to inform them, and it's going to make an impact. It's going to change their way of thinking about the church. It's going to change their way of making decisions. It's going to help to increase their engagement with their pastors, with their ministers, with their evangelists, For Jerry, in the diaspora, not many people knew what was happening in the LCL until my Lutheran Connections was born. Actually, many people didn't know.
Yeah,
People are just
but Joe,
yeah,
this is a very good. This is a very good. No, man, this is a very good innovation. And as the innovation start to come, we got to be thinking innovatively. Now we're talking about LoFa. We're talking about crossing over to part of BOM, and we're talking about even going to part of Guinea. So we should be prepared to also get our continuity announcer to be speaking Loma and Pele and French. Where will help us to. So when my man, I coming to you, Wendy. So before I come to you, Wendy, just greet our people. Assuming that we on air now in Lofa, greet our people in Loma. Let me hear you.
Oh my goodness, that's a nice one. That's a nice one.
Awanai and Mente, a Babesu. That's a Kulima, Kulintama, MLC talk. We were na Koto, Toga Lutheran Rapple Mawuli. Kawa Kila Witi over. BJ, I know you're surprised at that.
I'm smarting. I'm not you might come in, man. I'm telling you,
Papa, I'm a veteran. Papa, I'm a veteran. No, honestly, no. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you now to Aliyah? Can you confirm the participants, some of your participants? Are you having international guests coming to your convention or your conference? Can you confirm some of your participants? How is it going to be like?
Ambassador, you want Willie to hold our question? Willie, you want to hold our question a little bit? Ambassador, I wanted to follow up on your question, which I believe is very critical. The Constitution. You remember, Ambassador, you quiz Willie on the Constitution a lot, and I think it's the basis for their election. And that's one of the main things they were waiting for. So I want to ask Willie, when you adopted the Constitution, was there any dissent that you want to talk about? Were there people who were not in favor? Because that's very important. Mandate here is important. And Jerry understands that when we're talking about elections, we're talking about adoption of important documents. You have to do it with sufficient mandate, so that almost everybody is in tune. I don't know everybody will agree. But did you have any significant dissent? Did you have people having issues with some of the key parts, especially that has to do with elections and governance? Did you?
Yes, absolutely, BJ.
And how did you resolve it? So just share with us, please.
Sure. That's a very good question. And one of the major thing was the organization structure. Okay. When the organization was funded, based on membership. Okay. Giving power to members, power to the members of the organization. So when I say giving power, it's like the members will meet at an assembly, will host election. Members will pass, like like in the context of the LCL, decisions are made at executive committee level, but some decision has to be confirmed by the LCL convention. So it's the same with Aliyah. So we had an issue with the organization structure. There were some ideas, surrounding having an executive director instead of a president, and but that raised a lot of concern for so many people. Okay, especially the fact that the institution was established on membership basis. So, but those who provided that, that idea, I mean, a lot of support did not come from there. Instead, there was some doubts. So, to your question, how we ended up, it was ended up on electoral basis by those that were part of the convention, and it was voted upon that we maintain the old leadership style. But there were one or two acts, I would say committee. There was one or two committee that was added. We have the project management committee. So we have a project management committee added to the leadership structure, and we also have advisory council. We also have a advisory council in addition to the board of directors. So the advisory council was added. The project management committee was added, and we have our regular or say traditional committees like the Finance Ways and Means Committee, the Committee on Executive, the Committee on the Secretariat also in this the Secretariat will also form, like was constitution like having a corresponding secretary and a recording secretary, just a whole entire secretariat was also formed. So it was a great thing that we had to go through this constitution revision process. And one thing I quickly want to add also to the constitution revision process was the membership status. Okay, initially the membership status was not really defined. So through this revision process, there are three categories of membership now. So we have we have full membership, we have associate membership, and we have the honorary membership. So let's say, for example, Bijo is here, he's a member of Aliyah. If he happens to go to Liberia or somewhere other part of the world for some number of time and he's not within the confines of the United States, or not the United States, but America, because it covers the Americas. So that's Canada, Mexico, the United States, going down to Brazil, the Americas. Okay. So if he's outside of the Americas, I mean, there are certain issues that will not be bounding on him, but his membership is not taken away from him. Once he comes back, his membership is reinstated as a full member, so he will have all of the obligations.
I think
Jerry,
really,
I think
yeah, what Big Joe wanted to really know, I'm not too sure I heard that. I know you guys had numerous reforms and it was reviewed and you say it was accepted. But can you quantify? I mean, I think Joe looking for a number. And as a statistician, especially when you doing your PhD dissertation, you go a lot into statistics and you want to know numbers to verify some of the some of the research. So you want to quantify it. We would like to know. I'm not too sure I heard that. If you had controversy over some of the reforms, where specifically you had a controversy, and what were the numbers there? You talk about dissent. What's the ratio? How many person accepted and how many person disagreed? I mean, these are the kind of things we're talking about.
And Jerry, Ambassador, thank you so much for the clarity. Willie knows that I know that the crucial area, and that's why he just glossed over it. The crucial area has to do with the title of the head, because some people were pushing to make the organization programmatic in nature, completely programmatic, so that you can have the head as an executive director as opposed to president. And some people were pushing to maintain the current status, to have the organization in such a way with a structure whereby the head of the organization will still be referred to as president, I think in that official and executive capacity. But I wanted to know from Willie, which one did they go with and how sticky it was, because that was the biggest issue. And I know Willie knows that was the biggest issue, because once you have an executive or a programmatic nature, then obviously you are going as a program. So Willie, I just wanted you, and I know that what Willie was dashing, so how you're just watching.
No.
Willie, please, you're not supposed to say anything that will put you in trouble, please.
No. I won't. No, I mean, anything that will cause me to plead the fifth, I will plead the fifth. But no, but to be honest, yeah, Bijo, you are right. That was a major thing going to Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. That was a major thing. In fact, that was one of the reasons. That was one of the things. In fact, we did not have this election because clarification was not made, and also the Constitution, like we said, the Constitution the process had not been complete. And, the project review process was not completed, and also it had not been accepted by the body. So talking about those in favor and those against, I won't be able to give you a 100%, but I will tell you that of those that were in that meeting, it was I think two, if I'm not mistaken, two members that were in favor of more programmatic, and the rest was in favor of traditional. Okay, so what happened was the Constitution Revision Committee did her work and and went to the executive committee and made a report to the executive committee. It was in the executive committee room that the executive committee voted. Okay, the executive committee voted and agreed upon that. After which it was taken to, and it was sent back to committee room to do some polishing, to make some changes there. Then after which it was taken to the virtual assembly, the continuation of Philadelphia assembly, which was held virtually. So we took it to that assembly, and once we took it to the virtual assembly, it was passed unanimously at the virtual assembly. So at the assembly, there was no hitch and everything, because it was the hitch and everything was taken care of at the executive committee level, which of course, they served as the gatekeeper at the time to fix everything before we went to the virtual assembly.
Right.
The election committee. Okay, anyway, when you come to election, that's fine. But election committee, you want me to just?
We'll come to election.
Okay.
We'll come to election.
Okay.
I want to cycle back to Brother Lewelly. Brother Lewelly.
Oh.
Like I said, you were saying some very.
Sis Kopo is waiting.
Oh, yeah, Sis Kopo. I will come to you,
Yeah.
Sis Kopo. You need to tell us what you're going to do with your degree. We want to know. Perhaps we need to find some place to put you, but tell us what you're going to do with your degree. But we'll come to you, Sis Kopo.
Once Sis Kopo can be our next treasurer, the next treasurer of the LCL.
Exactly.
Okay,
That is what I was thinking.
and Kopo, Ambassador, Kopo needs to tell us about her new program in the LCL. Kopo has not said much about the program yet.
Let's hear from Kopo.
Yes. Kopo, we're coming to you. We're coming to you shortly. But I just want to cycle back, Joe, before I lose my thought on this, to Brother Lewelly. On this issue of the TOR, and I heard him mentioning that it's a Trump issue that was given to him. Say wide range of stakeholders, and it started to resonate in the mind of other people. Wide range of stakeholders. Brother Lewelly, can you tell us who are some of your identifiable stakeholders, so to speak, that you're going to reach out to? And then also would like to know from you, what have you put in place to try to reach out to these stakeholders so as to ensure that you start to get your programs has been outlined by you moving?
Thank you so much, Jerry. As I was just thinking that maybe we may not have luxuries of time tonight to kind of really discuss in details happening of the revamping process of the Lutheran Training Institute that are currently serve as chairpersons of the Board of Education. Maybe we will have to look up for another time that will be given me to kind of really elaborate on the various segments. But as you regularly said about the issue of stakeholders, one thing we did in our strategic process was we did what we call a stakeholder analysis, which is very key to any institutional development, right? ETIA has a wide range of stakeholders. We did the analysis of those stakeholders, and we were able to establish their interests and need in moving forward the development of the Lutheran Training Institute. Take, for instance, the Lutheran Church in Liberia is a stakeholders to ETIA. That's part they the one own the institutions. But you have other sub-stakeholders, like even the very local communities that we live. How do the people of Salai and Zaza want to see ETI to be? Because they have a fresh memory of what this institute. While we were conducting the strategist document, somebody from Salai said, we used to be here where it was about closing, man. You have the guys in a jubilating mood. They are moving to Nimba, Morovia, and other places, and they will take all of their things They just wake their suitcases and say, you take it. I don't want to take anything that I brought to this campus and carry it back, right? So those kind of a stories came out. The local communities got interest in ETIA. They want to see the institutions being revamped and restored. That's their interest. The local authorities, for example, we had the commissioners in our strategy meeting. We had the paramount chief, we had the clan chief, we had chiefs from different places who also attended, and they expressed their desires and their needs, which is very important. We have the Lutheran Training Institute alumni, for example. The alumni want to see works in 5. Joyce and let me have examples to that. They want to see it being back. We have Aliyah on the other hand. Aliyah, Lutheran associations in America, all Lutheran associations in Americas, they have interest here. The Lutheran Development Service got interest in ETIA. The Lutheran World Federation World Service got interest there. The Evangelical Lutheran Church in America got interest in here. Bavaria, the Church of Bavaria in Germany, the Danish Mission Council, because these are people that have supported the church, this institution for a very long period of time. I mean, they invested some money. They want to see how far their funding have gone. The Liberian government, we were discussing, before the war, the government of Liberia was giving like $250,000 subsidy. I'm talking about in the 1980s. Because the institutions have produced some great men. Take, for instance, the life of the late Walter Gwaningale, the late Winston Sangaroo, who served as interim president, the current vice president of Liberia, Madam Joy Howard Taylor. And one will fall in trouble when you begin to name individuals and personalities who have walked through the ranks and files of the institution. Your own brothers on the platform. Josiah Jogger walks through this. He walks through this institution, right? So, I mean, all the guys who have gone to the Americas, including Willie and all of the people, they got interest into the institution. We have other new partners that are coming up. So when we did all of these stakeholder analysis, we said there is a relevance interplay here, right? So that is an opportunity. We didn't want to stop there. We did what we call the SWOT analysis, the weakness, the opportunities, and the threats that unfolds ETIA. After we did all of those analysis, then we came up with 5 thematic areas that if this institution focus on those 5 areas moving forward into the future, it's definitely going to be once again vibrant. So when you talk to me, Jerry, about who are those stakeholders, those are just few of the stakeholders that we're talking about. And all of them got different interests and different needs. And we see all of them as an opportunity for us in moving forward because they want to contribute. They want to contribute both in cash, in kind, in resources, whatever way possible in getting these institutions back. So as chairman of the Board of Education, in making this to happen, I will engage these people at all levels. Along with my team, we are going to engage in our level, which we have already started. The workshop was that we need to develop a full functioning website and a Facebook page, if possible, a WhatsApp page that will get the database and the contacts of all of the interests of all of the stakeholders, and then we begin to reach them one by one. We have started. I'm not saying tomorrow we will start. I mean, we have already started. So if you went to ETI in just 2 weeks, 2 weeks since our appointment as chairpersons of the board, you're going to see a difference as compared to what it was. My heart is in here. What
are some of the differences? Number one, that we see right now, and number two, I'm really happy and concerned and interested in understanding, especially some of the tools you call the using the SWOT analysis and also doing your stakeholder analysis. These are common tools for development practitioners when it comes to these kind of projects and programs that you get yourself involved with. So what are some of the innovation already that you have started? And secondly, what are some of your threats and what are some of your opportunities?
Okay, as I said to you, the first Amendment era is the operation of a number of Buddhist academic programs that beginning in September. We have already sent out a vacancy listing of recruiting administrators, of principal, vice president, and registrar. That's the first batch of a recruitment that we are currently doing. The announcement is on the radio and running, right? Somebody will ask me how you're going to get the money to kind of pay these people. We are also working behind the scene of securing seed funding to pay principal, vice principal, and registrar and that of other instructors, because there is no way that you will be able to raise money immediately from the students that will be able to pay those instructors. So those mechanisms are already into place. We have been able to secure almost about 10,000 US dollars grant in collaboration with the Trauma Healing and Reconciliation Program in Liberia, right? To run a pilot non-vocational program. That process will be launched on July 10th. That money is already secure, it's there. Trust me, Jerry, we are going to raise money for Lutheran Training Institute because it has the potential. So if you ask me about some of the opportunities are you guys, like the idea, like the alumni, like the government of Liberia, how do we lobby back with them to re-event the government subsidies coming? We have other stakeholders. Somebody was just digging Sunday out of the box of the Lutheran Development Service that have almost secured a huge money, I don't want to call it, for the running of a vocational school that will be starting hopefully next semester. So, Jared, talk about TLEX quickly. There's so much TLEX. Now there's a huge encroachment on LTI's primacy. I mean LTI's land, right? People are encroaching on the land at the four angles of the Lutheran Training Institute. How do we restitute LTI land to make it more viable and protected? That's the reasons when we're having a strategic document, we brought in the commissioner, the parliament chief, because these are stakeholders who have influence. And their influences can make a difference. And we told them about the issues that we face. So the bishop is in the center of this to see how you're going to play around this in meeting all of the stakeholders and the landowners across that place so that the LTI land is secure. Because if you look at the third pillar, for example, that we came out with, which is the social enterprise development at LTI currently have a vast land. Palms, they got agriculture farms like palms, they got rubber, I even understand that there are fish ponds, there are chicken poultry, there are fisheries, and all of those things. How do we revamp all of these things?
The chicken that got missing and the pig that got missing that Reverend Pierre was talking about.
Jerry, I'm not going there with you. I'm not going down that route with you. I'm talking about what is before us.
The cow that got missing.
No, I'm not going. I'm not going.
And the tiger generator. Oh yeah, but listen, the report said there were a lot of cows and cattle.
So we talk about the chicken and the cow gets missing this couple games.
Yeah, that's the time she came in.
Yeah, but I think Abel, you can continue quickly. But I think we need a new segment. I think you can continue quickly, but I think we need a new segment just to discuss this issue exclusively. Maybe you could make your debut on our lunch hour, so that we can have more people to participate. So we can. What do you think, Joe? What do you think? I mean, our lunch hour on our new schedule. Yeah.
It's important, Ambassador. I agree with you 100%. You know, there's going to be a complete innovation and creativity. I'm very optimistic that there's going to be growth. There's going to be a transformation at LTR. But Abel has to really sit with us to take his time to explain to us how they're going to go about it. We want to know the steps, the procedures, the processes, how it's going to happen. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
I will definitely do that. You know,
Yeah, we
Jerry
can have
tried
the
to
maiden
take me,
edition. Yeah.
Jerry tried to take me out of track by
Yeah, but Jerry, Ambassador, anybody who brings out chicken, cow, and animal issue don't respond to any of those kinds
no,
of
no,
questions.
no, I'm not,
No.
I'm not
Joe,
doing
Joe,
that.
hey, Ambassador,
But let me say it. That
Ambassador.
said it.
No, Ambassador. You see, Bijo, you see, Stevo. They don't want to hear about their chicken business. Don't fall. They don't want to hear about chicken business and don't fall. So the report, Reverend Pitt. No wonder why Bijo did not appear on the show last time. Because why? We're discussing the report, and that report they were going to be implicated because why? The chicken missing, not the cow, but the chicken missing.
Ambassador, will I lie? I will confess. Ambassador, never chicken. That I ate the LT when I was there in school. I have never eaten that much chicken anywhere before.
Exactly.
Jerry,
So here's quickly.
Yeah, Jerry.
The revitalization of LTI, okay, when it comes to the portrait era, please hold Bijo and Stebo to bring more chicken back. They have to replenish all the chicken.
Yeah.
The other serious note is a campaign.
Jerry,
go ahead, Abraham.
I think what we are trying to drive at is that agricultural initiatives like LTI is very crucial, right? And these activities will contribute to the overall sustainability of the institution, whatever way we put it, by generating income through the sale of almost all of these products. We already have, so we are not going to look at it. But lastly, let me quickly run you to the last tertiary era, which has to do with the establishment of the Lutheran College of Agriculture and Engineering, LAKES, right? So we are hoping that also in 5 years' time, we will be able to kind of establish the College of Agriculture and Engineering. This could be an integral part of the ongoing process of establishing the Lutheran universities that is already in place. You already have the College of Health Sciences running at Phoebe and that of Curry Hospital. So the Lutheran Training Institute is strategically positioned to serve as the host institution for the College of Agriculture and Engineering. So you see how the whole process is going from a non-vocational that will be starting in September to a full boarding, both academic and that of TVET. And then we look at the infrastructure development, we look at the social enterprise era, and lastly, we end up with the establishment of the Lutheran College of Agriculture and Engineering. The blessing is that we assess your building. I mean, you got the infrastructure, you are not constructing any building like other people doing. You already have it. All you need to do is to add value, is to bring innovations and extra values to these infrastructures that you already have. And we are in a position to raise the necessary funding, especially with the kind of bishop we have who is willing, I mean, open up to innovations and creativity. Whoever persons come with good idea, the bishop is willing to buy that. And that's one of the reasons why we are into this thing together. So, as you regularly said,
we are in the business. We are in the business to.
I will come by here
in the innovation.
Platform
we are in the business to ensure that LTI is transformed, and that is the voice of the chairperson of the board of LTI. And trust me, we are coming up pretty soon. We are going to put out our activities. And for our folks that are just joining us, we want to let you know that we are going to start running on the national radio. We will be in Lofa and parts of Bond County to begin with, and then later on we'll start negotiating to come with some of our radio station in Morovia, so that at least we can have a wider coverage. We will get all of these things done, but we want to make sure that our brother Leweri, with the interesting talks that he has, he will make his debut on our May week show. Wedi, our show is going to be this Wednesday or so. I'll call it lunch hour. So, but we're going to put it in our various chat room and our various social media handles so that you can be able to follow. And we're going to have an exclusive interview with the chair of the board of LTR, no one else but one of the busiest Lutheran members by the name of Brother Abel Lewedi. Corporal Seli, you graduated recently. Congratulations, ma'am. Are you there? Sis Corporal?
Yes, I'm here.
Congratulations. So we
I was just coming to talk about the chicken business because the mother can bring her.
Let me say chicken dinner, like
okay. So couple. I understood that you are running a new program. You want to give us synopsis on that program and the progress so far. Just briefly because we're running out of time, but we also have to invite you on the midweek show. But just briefly.
Yes, thank you, Brother Jerry, and thanks to everybody. I want to say something on this midweek show that we have included in our Nutrient Connection. Please, another midweek will be the 12th of July. We are not doing any show on that day, so please know this: July 12th.
Oh,
It will be on Wednesday
y'all
or midweek.
y'all please
Take
ask
that
why.
into
Y'all please ask for me. I
consideration.
know why. Y'all
Please.
please ask why.
Mhm.
Y'all please ask why. For me, I know.
Of course, we'll ask why. Couple, you say something, there you go.
Couple, where are you? She gotta come by and tell us.
You see
You
how
can't just
people
come and
can look for
threaten the
trouble?
show.
Ambassador, you see how
I'm
people
telling
can look
you.
for trouble? Couple are talking
Yeah,
hotly. Couple did not invite Willie. Couple did
Sorry.
not invite Willie. Willie just took that whole trouble. He said he knows it. So Willie, if couple doesn't come by, Willie, you
No, she
explain
yeah.
it.
No, couple
I'm,
yeah.
I'm,
Couple
I'm
who
here.
said the thing
I'm
how
here.
she yeah.
I'm here.
Couple who said the thing she yeah. That I mean talking about.
Where you get?
He said at one point, he said no, yes, yes.
Couple can't threaten the show. She yeah.
Couple, why?
It is my birthday. It will be my birthday.
That will know the birthday.
Yes, my birthday.
That's a big thing, oh.
It will also be your wedding.
It ain't ambassador at Suseo.
The ambassador at Suseo.
Okay, couple. Then
big
we want
news.
to congratulate you in advance and want to say that we praise God for you. At least you have found your missing rib and your better half, and we are going to surely follow the process. We will adhere to your appeal. There will be no midweek show on the 12th of July, but keep us posted.
Thank you.
I oppose. We will have midweek show.
You see.
And the reason why we will have midweek show is to be able to carry couples program live.
I agree with that.
We can sit in studio,
Yep.
and we can talk to our partner on the ground.
Yes.
To capture the event, and we can carry live on our show for couple.
Absolutely.
This is a historic event for her. It's something that should be memorable. Let us carry live on the MLC talk. It will be a special report on MLC talk.
I can see and I concur. I can see and I concur.
So, couple, you agree now that we should have a live show?
Yes,
We should have our show?
With that, I agree. Brother Teresa, I concur. I thought also on one of our when we were in the youth, we have one guy from one of the Murphy Parish. Everything, but he's late now. Kobe will say, I concur with you. I concur, person. So with that, I accept it. No problem.
So tell us a little about your program. Tell us a little about your program.
Yes, thank you. Like what he said, what he can let the poor people on front page. They're what he for. We started a program called Faith in Action for Climate Justice. We did a certificate.
Yeah, sorry about that.
We did a certificate program in climate justice and faith. And at the end of the program, you had to come up with a project and we discussed it, Woody and I. We saw like our church, we don't have a climate justice, anything that has to do with the environment. We don't have it on the church or in our church. So I discussed it with Woody, and he said, "Oh, that's a good idea." So we agreed to have a drone project. And with that drone project, we decided to launch our project called Faith in Action for Climate Justice. And after we launched it, we put it on the church as a new program. So it was launched on the 21st of April, LCL Company LTS conference hall. Bishop were there, the BA were there, the youth director. We invited people from the Council of Churches. We have people from the disabled community, people living with disability. We have one of my colleagues from the environment sector, he was there. One from the FDA sector. So that program was launched, and at the end of the program, we did a symbolic tree planting that was done by Very Market after Bishop left and the BA took over. So now we have a program on LCL called Faith in Action for Climate Justice. So we've been working along with Bishop, like Brother Abel said, he always willing to listen to people. Once you have a vision and you share it with him, he always willing to listen. So we have been working with him. We had series of meetings, working along with Reverend Doe. So from the private sector and we took James Mulva. From the government sector, we took one Arthur Becker from the environment. Then from the church, we are using Reverend Doe. Yeah, we're using Reverend Doe. So we have a little small grouping where we meet and discuss. So we after we launched the project, we have been having series of meetings. And one of the things we talk about is to see how best we can come up with our vision statement and see how best we can register the program. Because once it's an environmental program, you must have an environmental sector clearance, a sectoral clearance from EPA. So we've been working on that. We have an emergency meeting, one of our meetings, and everything was discussed. And we want to thank Brother Abel, who at the back, who have been helping us in the process. For every time we call upon him, always waiting to give us his little idea in coming up with such. So we're working on that to see how best we can register it when it comes to obtaining our environmental permit, sectoral clearance on the environment. Because once you're an environmental organization, you must have a sectoral clearance to operate. So who knows? Probably you might have something doing, and before you implement that little project, you must have sectoral clearance for EPA. So we are working on that. And another thing is our Coast Guard, one of our instructor from the Pacific Lutheran Theological Seminary, Miss Phoebe. We had a meeting on the 17th of April of May, and we met with the permanent representative of Lutheran when it comes
ELCA.
to ELCA. So she introduced us to him, and we presented our intention. We told him what we want to do, and it was embraced. But one of the things he stressed was after Willie spoke, he did not even after Phoebe introduced us and Willie spoke, he did not even give us chance, and he asked for gender balance. And we told him this was just a newly established thing, but we will include. I will be gender sensitive. Yeah, so we talked on that, and he told us to come up with a proposal, but we should do a community mapping and get back to him. He embraced the idea and get back to him. So we are working on that. And we spoke to our brother Becker. To he introduced us to would you help me, please?
Yes, so he introduced us to the African Environmental Network.
Okay,
I think
African
the office,
Environmental Network,
yeah,
yes.
and
And he
the
introduced
office.
us to the guy, yeah, and the guy emailed us and he was happy. He said yes. So what we're working on for now, we are like selling the programs. Yeah, selling the programs to see how best we can get a partner, to see how best we can have people to work with, a team to work with, because the church now we haven't really we haven't gotten involved in the issue of climate justice. Yeah, because that was one of the main things. When we wrote when I said we, the EPA wrote the NDC, that's the National Determinant Contribution, we have to do, which has to do with the climate, when it comes to climate, climate the climate impact. There was a document that was written, and in that document, when they went for the revision, they have the civil society, they have youth group, they have women group, but then I did not see the church being involved. And the church has the largest platform. The church, the mouth, they got a larger platform. So I asked one of my brothers, I said, but why the church is not involved into the issue of climate change? Because the church, we have the bigger area. Why can't we use the church? And how they said, oh no, the church is not involved into it. But I think the step that you are taking, it is something good. So I discussed it with it, how we decided to put it on in the church. So if you look at it now, the Lutheran Church in Liberia will be like the first church who have established faith base when it comes to climate justice and faith. Um, Another cycle of training is up. The deadline for application was June 15. We discussed with our course guide, the director. She like always sending the mail couple where you need to share with people. So we discussed it with the youth director, and they were able to choose like 5 persons to take advantage of the program. Yeah, to take advantage. So they did the application. The 15 was the deadline, and they submitted it before the 15th. So what we did, we took the names because she said there are a lot of people who will be applying. So what y'all do when your people apply, you just do the listing and you send it to me, and we will see what we can do. So I said, okay. So when everybody did that submission, we asked for the total number of person and the names, and we submitted it to her. So we pray that all of our 5 persons will be accepted for the program. It's a 6 month or 15 weeks program. Yeah, so we pray. So if those 5 people are accepted and they go through the training and they pass through it, it's like you will see this is how the program will expand. So you will not have only Woody and couple who have certificate in climate justice and faith, but then you will have additional 5%. So you see, we are not keeping this to ourselves. We share the information with other people to take advantage of the program, and this is how the program will move forward. This is where we are. So we like selling the program for now and see how best we can solicit funding to implement a lay project when it comes to the environment.
Okay, thank
So
you
that
so
where
much.
we are.
I think we're going to make you and Brother Leeweddy, but Brother Leeweddy might come first, then maybe after him you. But you guys will have to appear on the Midweek show because a lot of things you got in stock that we need to unpack. And I think that the Midweek show will present that opportunity for the fact that we have a lot more audience, or follow, and so that they can be able to listen in and try to see how they can be a part in a way and to ensure that we have this program. The climate justice program seems to be very good because there's a new kick on the block, and a lot of people now talking about climate change and climate justice and trying to protect our climate. So I think it's something that we need to publicize a lot, so that a lot of people know what it entails, what is it about, and then I think they can be able to come up with something. Joe, you wanted to say something after you, then Winnie, you can please recognize our viewers, and then we can have our closing comments. But Joe, let me give you the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I just, this is welcoming. This is a very good news for the LCL. It means that the LCL can situate herself as a climate justice champion, in a country. And I like the fact that the first two individuals who were trained are also, co-hosts here at MLC Talk. MLC Talk is just expanding, and we are all connected with almost all the developmental initiatives. This is so, so great. The ambassador is doing so good in democracy and elections in the sub-region, Wele Climate Justice, Ciscopo Climate Justice, and all of the initiative they're undertaking. Abel with LTI, and we all in our corners. But Ciscopo, here's my concern. Now that we know that the LCL has adopted your program as an LCL program, a former LCL program, correct?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so if that is the case, you shouldn't be having any hurdles in terms of setting the program up. And I'm sure my colleagues Jerry, Abel, will agree with me. The LCL should be taking the initiative on your behalf now, because it has now become an LCL program. So even getting your certification or documents, registration documents with the government, I think it should be a formal responsibility of the LCL. I'm not even sure you should be the one struggling, looking for connections or whatever resources required to do that. Is that the case?
Yeah. Couple. Let me just come in quickly on that. Big Joe, and I want to say thank you very much. Our church right now. We all know the situation with back home, and like couple said, we 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 really want to admit here that we are not doing this alone. We are not doing this on our own. The church is involved. The church is fully aware. The bishop, when I say the church, the bishop is actually at the forefront. If we should, unless today that maybe due to some network issue, but anytime we take the phone, we I can tell you that we also have a WhatsApp chat group. At one point in time, Bishop was in a meeting. We called him just to discuss prior to meeting with the permanent representative of ELCA, and he got on the phone with us and we spoke. So we know that there are some financial constraints with the church, and it's just some little amount. So we're trying to see how best we can work our way around that. And quickly, I want to say thanks to the Reverend Dr. Moses Dennis. Reverend Moses Dennis has officially, like, agreed to serve as partner with us through this process, in terms of, I mean, not everyone don't have a lot of money right now, but when it comes to any, any way that he can make any minimum contribution, he has already given us that assurance as we work along. So the couple said the first thing right now that we're working on, for us to go ahead and do this, the site mapping, and to do it, we have all of the ideas, but we just have to get this sectoral clearance. So we have our mission vision statement, and then the next thing is we're going to get and then also, speaking of the LCA, like you said, the LCA already has it. We're going to use the article incorporation and everything from it, because this is a LCL's program. We're going to use everything on the LCL to do that, but we have to. And also, I want to say thanks to Brother Becker. He's an ecumenical brother from the Episcopal Church. He works with the ELCA. He has formally written the EPA Executive Director, introducing the LCL Fit in Action for Climate Justice officially to the director of EPA. So we are making some strides. The connection is there by God's grace. Even when we met with the director, the training director.
How did Arthur Becker get involved? Is a Lutheran affair? Is it just
so okay? So Arthur Becker was in. So the EPA was invited. The EPA was invited to this launching program, and happening is that, yes, and then Arthur Becker was selected to represent because it should have been one of the director, but Mr. Camon should have come in, but he was but he was not available, so Arthur Becker was appointed to come in. So after the conversation and everything, and Arthur Becker availed himself, he said, even though I work for the EPA and I'm not a Lutheran, but if you guys need my assistance, I'm willing to work along with you. And I would tell you that one of our meetings, Brother Arthur Becker was at the airport. He was about to board his flight, but he stayed with us on the meeting until it was time for him to board his flight to travel. So we are in the process. Big Joe, you are there. Ambassador, you are there. Abia is there. This is all Lutheran affairs, and we'll be coming to you guys, in whatever way that we're going to need some support. We'll be coming to you for you to assist us in this process. But we can tell you that, I mean, there's huge potential up there, because even when we had a meeting with the permanent representative from Madagascar, the one criticism that he had, perhaps he did not wait to hear the full story. He did not even know that Kopo is the executive director of this program or the program director of this program, but he just came straight saying that when we did our launching, while we had all male speakers, and he was just more critical with us, but
That was his
but later,
mindset.
yeah, that was his mindset. But later on, when Kopo came on the stage and everything, and so then he became calm a little bit, and he started to work with us. So there are a lot of potentials, but we stay in the beginning stage, and hopefully we can get this $350 to do our registration, by July.
Okay, Wendy. So just continue while you stay on your feet to just
Yeah.
recognize our viewer quickly, and then.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Yeah. Quickly, I would just okay. Okay. I'll recognize Brother Robert. Sorry, Royal Jerome Jala. I want to recognize you. Thank you so much for following, Brother Caesar Goya. Want to say thank you very much again for following, and Brother J Isaac F.
Are you
Kopo,
putting them
thank
on
you
the
so much.
screen?
Oh, okay. I'll go back there and I will do that. Brother Roger Jerome Jala, he's following us. He said, and happy 4th Sunday to you too as well, Brother Jala. And Brother Sister Goya, sorry, Brother Sister Goya, we want to recognize you as well. And we want to recognize also Brother Kopo. Brother Kopo is following us from the parish, from the Kakata parish. So Kakata parish, that's in Magibi. And also our father Manipele K. Small. He's a member of the class of 1981.
That's LTR.
That's LTR. At the time, they never took chicken to dumb fool, but he was part of 81 class. Thank you so much, Father Small. And again, I'm hoping though, I'm really praying to see Father Small in Minneapolis. I really want to see him, give him that big hug and really shake his hand. I really want to see him in person. I'm hoping and praying for that. And also Brother Toto want to say thank you so much again. He's always following us. Yeah. So yeah, those are
Back up for Brother Toto. That's something
Yeah.
very remarkable.
Yeah. So Brother Toto is saying that please put some strategies in your objectives for trash removal in the environment. This has huge funding from the international community. Absolutely, Brother Toto, and we say thank you so much. And like we said, our church is blessed. We have so many people that are rooted in so many places. So we're gonna reach out to you people. The only thing, and the trip that I'll be making to New York, I was selected to form part of the Lutheran World Federation delegation to the high level political forum of the United Nations. So we'll be going there to represent the Lutheran World Federation. Okay, we'll be going to represent Lutheran World Federation. But again, it was through this program that we did, and it's an advanced certificate from the Pacific Theological Lutheran Seminary. Okay, and I would say that at some point in time, I almost fell along the way, but I mean, they say when you hold the rope will hold the boat. So I invited my sister Kopo along this journey, and as we move along, she always had me about it. She always reminded me, say, Willie, just go. I know you're busy, but just go and do your work. Just do your work. And she kept pushing me through until the both of us were able to push, across the finish line. Okay, I think Ambassador, you on mute?
No, I'm here, gentlemen. I just want to say thank you so much for the view, the recognizing our viewers, and I also want to say that this is something that we need to look into more. Joe, I can tell you that as some young people who got themselves involved into this here, and what they started to do was just to go and pick up the plastic, anything plastic bag, the rubber, we drink the water and throw it on the beach, and all the concentration is just the beach or on the beaches. They go and pick up those things, put it in bag, they bag it, and then they take it from there. And people have been watching and following, and then and looking at the initiative, and they got now very huge support. So I don't know what some of your programmatic strategy would be, but the kind of suggestion that perhaps Dr. Toto is making could be something that you guys could be considering when it comes to the issue of trash remover. Where specific areas you guys want to go, how many persons you guys want to recruit, how you want to go about it. These are things that you need to be looking at. And I show that, look, let me tell you this, money follows great ideas. You just must be able to have the clarity of thoughts. And once you have the clarity of thought and you know how to put it in motion, money follows. Abel knows what I'm talking. Joe knows what I'm talking, because they are great thinkers also, like all of us. And we got some great thinkers around that you could angle on to lend your support. For example, and Dr. Toto is already giving some pieces of information that you guys could use. And if you're talking about huge funding, then you need to understand from him what the funding basket is, or what's the funding window, and how can we asset some of the fund. But the major is how can we get the program registered under the government, so that at least we can have some legal status to start moving on. So these are issues that we expect couple or on one of our midweek section to come and share more light on, so that at least we know how we can be able to help in that regard. So now we are going to our closing comment. I want to cycle with Sis Kopo. You just got 1 minute, and then from there, brother Brother Witty Cowboy. Sorry, Witty, if I wrongly pronounce your last name.
That's fine.
You and brother Witty, and then brother Jokai, who will tell us about the station again, and then that one, brother Jokai, is going to say in Loma, and for us, so that we can.
Let him say Impele.
Oh, that Pele man.
Yeah, Father Manipele listening to
oh, that Pele man. Okay, yes.
Yeah,
that is what I wanted to say. Yeah, you spoke in Loma with it.
Yes.
Josiah with close in Pele.
Yeah. Eloquently. I spoke eloquently in Loma.
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry to leave now.
No, you can leave. Stay
okay,
right here.
Then Joe, you go anywhere you want to. You go anywhere you want to.
because of the better you want to leave.
Not because of better.
I'm about to tell him that your office is not open on Sunday, so you stay right here.
No, leave. So couple, you get couple. Where's couple?
Yeah, I'm on.
Oh, okay, yeah, couple. So you can close on 1 minute, and then from you, Willie, Abel, and then Joe.
Okay, so thank you. There was something that Brother Abel raised concerning the issue of the encroachment on our LCR property. Yeah, I think there is similar thing like that in Zoso. What I heard of recent, and now we are experiencing it at LTR. So I don't know what really is the church doing in securing this land. Yeah, because everywhere people encroaching, probably we are not developing on it, and people need it. So I don't know. There's a serious issue that we all need to look at and see how best the church can come up in securing our lands, or these lands that were given to us by our forefathers or our grandfathers that served the church, and they offer this order that was given to us by the government. Like there's also land. I think I heard it one time we have a special convention, and it was raised by Brother Small that the people are requesting for, I think, certain acre of that land. And now we are experiencing the same thing with LTR. So I don't know what step the church is taking when it comes to that. And our father said the issue of the environment is a serious issue. That one of our speakers who came from the private sector, he talks about the waste, how to manage our waste. And there were a lot of suggestions that he brought up. So we're thinking we already started working with the young people to see how best we can establish the waste side, because James Moruba, he came from the private sector and he has a organization, they call it Green Cities, and he can turn the plastic. Yeah, they'll recycle the plastic. So we're working with him and see how best, because he said he wants to have a sphere site So we're working with the young people, our director, youth director, so see how best we can have one of these sites where we will just put a few person there, and when they bring the plastic, and see how best they can come and collect it. But we still strategizing to see how best we can get this to happen. So, Brother Jerry said in midweek. So for now, we will be working on it, and we will give update when it comes to that. So I want to say thank you, and thank you to everybody. I'm the pre-birthday girl and the bride to be. Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
See that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Willie,
see
go
that?
ahead.
All right. Thank you so much, and thanks to all of our viewers. Quickly, I just want to say that to all of those who are here in the diaspora, um, Aliyah Assembly is August 18th to the 20th. It's August 18th to the 20th in Minneapolis. We are going to have a virtual convention. We know that people will be traveling, so that on Friday, not much will be done, but Saturday is really packed. We have a dinner that evening, and we'll also have tickets. So even if you're not here, we can eat for you, but we're going to send you tickets. Ambassador will send you ticket as well, along with Brother Batam De Willie. We'll be sending you fundraising tickets. And we'll also be having a raffle draw, so that you can also participate in that. And second thing I want to talk about is the fit in action for climate justice. And we all see, the issue of climate, injustice around the world. So again, we want to thank you for your support. Some of you who are just hearing about this from the Lutheran Church in Liberia. And one unique thing I want to say is that our Lutheran Church in Liberia, three things now: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Three things the Lutheran Church have been the first to do in Liberia. I know there are some other things, but one of them, the trauma healing and reconciliation program. You cannot discuss trauma healing and anything without mentioning the Lutheran Church in Liberia. We are, and Bishop mentioned that during the launch. Bishop mentioned those three things. He said you cannot mention trauma healing in Liberia without calling the Lutheran Church in Liberia. You cannot mention HIV and AIDS in Liberia from a faith-based organization without calling the Lutheran Church in Liberia. And now you cannot talk about climate justice without mentioning the Lutheran Church in Liberia. We are the first in the Republic of Liberia to do that. So again, we want to say thank you all so much. We'll be coming to you, Ambassador, Big Joe, Brother Lewilly, Dr. Tutu, and just everyone will be coming out there to you. And quickly, I just want to share this out here, that the programs, we have programs outlined, and we have so first, second, third, fourth are the Sundays. So first Sunday, second Sunday, and third Sunday, and fourth Sunday, and our midweek launch program. So we just want to tell you that my Lutheran Connections is here to stay. Don't be don't be deterred by some of these positions. Like you hear Abel being appointed as chairperson of the Board of Education LTI, and you hear the big job that
The big
Josiah
show,
has,
the
and
big
and
show,
and and
guys, big
and and,
job.
and and ambassador with his busy a job in Freetown. But despite that, we have dedicated ourselves to our church, the Lutheran Church in Liberia. So again, I just want to say thank you all to everyone, and have a blessed week.
So waiting, if we have 5 Sundays in the month, meaning the last Sunday is a free time, right?
Yeah, we'll try to bring that in. Maybe we can bring our fellowships, the youth, men, women. Yeah.
Brother Llewellyn, the chairman of the LTI board.
They
Yeah,
had
thank you
just they
so
had
much.
just cherry on the block.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jerry. Thank you, folks. As we come to the end of this Enlightening Lutheran Connection Top Show, I just want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guests, our dedicated audience, and all those who have contributed one way or the other to making this discussion experience. Brother Toto did mention about what is the difference between the LTI Board and the Lutheran Board of Education. the church cried for funding, but get all kinds of bureaucratic system. Brother Toto, I just want to let you know that this is a different scenario. I mean, the character and personalities on board are the one who making the ultimate sacrifices, going deep into their pockets as we speak, bringing up fundings. We have just bought solar lighting that will be planted on Wednesday. That come from our pocket. It's not come from anywhere. We are just hosting a strategic plan workshop. It came from our pocket. It did not come from anywhere. So there's no bureaucracy in this. There's a big difference between the Board of Educations and that of the LTR Board. The LTR Board is a local board that ensures that the day-to-day effects and the development of the Lutheran Training Institute is on earth and fully implemented. And we do that in collaboration with the Lutheran Church in Liberia school system. And trust me, we will make the sacrifice to fill the gap whenever there's a need to do that, without any burden to the Lutheran Church in Liberia. We will do that from our end, and that's what we stand for. But it's about giving back to the church. I mean, this institution is a cradle of the Lutheran education in Liberia. You can never discuss education of the Lutheran Church in Liberia without measuring the Lutheran Training Institute. Unfortunately, to go there, the LTR was a privileged institution during those days. It was privileged children that went there. Joe can attest to that. And that's why we want to bring back that spirit. And we are here to do it. Without any doubt, we can make it. And we'll be counting on you, George, to contribute in whatever way is possible. I know you are a member of ALIA. You are a member of other organizations of the Lutheran communion. I know you will do your best in doing that. So, folks, I'm looking forward to a day where we will have an exclusive interview to kind of lament, and delve into the details of some of the things that we are just on earth, just simply. I know the bishop is listening to us. We don't want to jump the boat. There's a lot that coming up, and as we speak day by day, tomorrow, the situation I'm reporting to you today will be different from tomorrow and next week and so forth. We are here to help. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abel.
Thank you, brother Abel. So, brother Abel again going to make his debut on our Mego this Wednesday. Want to say thank you so much. And brother Abel is going to delve into the nitty-gritty. He's going to elucidate. He's going to make sure that he will go through the nuts and bolts and the nook and crannies of the entire discussion. So, brother Toto,
no chicken and cow business. No chicken and cow business.
we got to cut DJ and
It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be
all right. I think to satisfy Willie's, to speak to Willie's concern about the missing animals from LTI.
Yeah,
I think you guys will have to host. You guys will have to host. You guys will have to host. You guys will have to host Devo. And
no, you and Stavo. Don't talk about chicken.
You guys will have to host Devo and me, so we can tell you the time we have our experience with chicken on LTI is far different from the time that you all knew chicken and cow.
We'll put an email report.
Look, Joe, brother Sisse Goya is here on back. Nobody business, but I think he needs to follow our midweek program where Abel will be able to tell him most of this issue, because he's still trying to talk about it. What is about this elitism or elitist institution?
Well,
I don't really understand.
Brother Sisse is entitled to his opinion, and I can also say that I sit here as somebody who attended LTI before. I was not an elite, or neither were my parents, elites. But that's just an example, So it could be.
So Joe, go ahead. You can close and don't
But
forget the Pele.
Let me just close. My Pele represents the intersection of the Pele from Zirokori, the Pele from Salai District, and the Pele from Bon County. So you're not going to see a specific pattern here. It's an intersection, a combination of all the different stand-up Pele.
So if you can speak the thing correct, just tell you can speak it correct. That Jokola Pele speaking. That Guinea Pele speaking.
Kalungange, nanua katuang kalungange, nava joke nga a joke no nga welika kle kaka will talk behila locally asonile nglewi hu kahio po kaka ready ngata ageka ko melin koka peke ye pui e plan na koka pele ba Lutheran Church koka pele nga pele dono ko kle po ga kuye po peke ye pui e plan na ma pele noa de ka nga pele ke la pele koka tike la nga pele mo yi kle koka ge kwa peke ngale aka so kamama dama kaka will talk kaka peke ko melngi Kailuye.
Mama Joy, Mama Joy, Yamo.
The Saturday boys are ready.
I'm telling you, look, wait, I can already see how it's going to be so fantastic on Sunday because we're going to have an intersplash of English and Pele and Loma and maybe if possible French. Joe, vous parlez français maintenant?
Si, je parle.
No. When I ask you to speak French, if we ask you to speak French, that's cheating on our part.
Évidemment, je parle français.
Je parle un peu.
Oh,
Je parle un peu.
Tu parles un peu aussi, d'accord. So you see, we always try to weave in these things, and we want to say this is how we want to draw down our curtains on today's edition of the.
BJ, close yo.
Ah, d'accord, merci pour le programme aujourd'hui, tout le monde. Et la dimanche prochaine, nous serons là encore. Nous allons parler concernant les issues, les problèmes et les développements dans notre église, l'église Lutheran au Liberia. Je vous remercie et au revoir.
Merci.
Au revoir à tous. Au revoir, monsieur, madame. Au revoir à tous. Demain. Thank you. Bye. Ready? You can go ahead.
No. If BJ is speaking French, then that's cheating on our part. The man should speak Pele, and you speak to Pele.
No, but you say you could speak French now. I can
speak French, but BJ